Good day to you. So, hi everybody. Here we are again for another very special interview that we have today with Mr. Kenny Welsh. So, welcome, Kenny Welsh, to this interview. Thank you so much to accept.
Thank you very much for this interview. It's not often people like to speak to me these days. I'm getting too
Why?
old. Too old.
No, you are a very special person. I think everybody that know you, they have always a great memory, like me, from my lesson that I had with you in the festival in the old school in London. That was Semley. I had the first lessons with you, and then when you moved to dance option in Chime, that you are still teaching there, right?
See, I have no choice there. Cost
There
me a lot of
no choice. So how is your life in these days, Kenny?
My life is, I begin very nicely. No work, I think, need a project. So I decide my office, have 25, 30 years, I do nothing to. So now I look at my paperwork and my books, I take out, I go, oh my goodness, this is terrible. So that is now half done. I then look at something else to do. I need to exercise. I hate this, this sort of exercise knees. So I decide I'm going to ride a bicycle.
Nice. This is very good.
No, not difficult, but it's nice. It's good for the condition. So I have a nice hat and riding glasses, and I have bright yellow gloves.
All the stuff.
Signals. Yeah, very good.
And Marion, she's coming with you?
Yeah, I mean, she's around. We have times where we see each other and then we don't see each other.
No, I mean, but she's coming to bicycle with you?
Oh, no. No, she does something else. She's part of this Keep Fit program. There's a young lady, she subscribes to the Keep Fit program. So in the morning to the television, Marion is doing her sort of exercise in her tights, weights, band, a lot. Okay.
So thank you so much, Kenny, to accept our invitation to One World Online Dance Competition that will be in 2 days, next Saturday, 13th of June. And this is your first experience to judge online competition?
Exact. So, yes.
So never we stop learning.
Well, this is what I think. Again, another project we have to learn. And the very interesting thing is, when I look at this, when you're judging, you're not recalling anybody or bringing back to another round. You judge that person, and then that's it. And then the next person comes.
Yes.
So, wow, that is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I can apologize now to everybody if my marking is a bit confusing. Because I'm a bit of a...
You will be perfect for sure. Because yes, in the online competition there are no comparison. There are only that you can judge people by for each one. You can see 4 of them in the screen, but all of them they will have their own result. And then the system will create the summary that in the end they will create the first, the second, the third, who passes to the final or not. So do you...
3 devices.
3 devices, computer and 2 iPhones.
Very interesting.
So you see, you are not old person, you are very young. So how is the situation in England now, Kenny?
The situation is getting a little better. We are still in lockdown. For myself, because I'm an older person, I'm what they call a person at risk. So I have to stay here.
You cannot go out. You can.
Yes, I can. Because I have a business I can go and see. So I have an excuse to go and see.
Okay. If not, the people...
supposed to be here. The younger people, my daughter is on the front line. She is serving food and into a big Tesco place. So she's helping out with all the deliveries. Yeah, and Marion is the same. So slowly, everything is changing just a little bit. We can now have, my daughter can come to the house, my youngest daughter, my eldest daughter's living here, and my youngest daughter can come and visit me, and it's okay now. But before, it was only in a park, in a field,
in the outside and not in the house. Yes.
And I believe Monday many of the shops will open, but not restaurants, not pubs. So all the good things are not going to open yet.
So you must stay at home still.
Except when I go on my bicycle, then I can see the world.
Yeah, at least a fresh air you can take. So Kenny, and how you start to dance? Why you move in the ballroom dancing? For which reason? Who introduced you in the ballroom dancing?
Yeah, very interesting story, that one.
We are very curious to know.
My parents, when I was a very young boy, used to do amateur competitions. And then they went into senior competitions to dance. And they always say to me, please, will you come and try? And I go, who, me? No, I don't do that thing with the girls. I go with the guys, football. You know. And they try for many years, maybe 2 years. But they changed their dance teacher to a guy by the name of Eric Lashbrook. And he lived in Liverpool. I lived in Liverpool, not London. And this particular man was very charismatic. He smoked, he drinks, he meets many ladies, he has many jokes to tell. And for me, I go, wow, what a guy this guy is, okay? So I think maybe I try this dancing, because if this guy can do it, I think I can enjoy this.
I can do it.
Yeah. So at 10 years of age, I started dancing. And I started dancing. I had 3 partners within a year. First partner I had, I didn't like, because all she wanted to do was ride horses. The second partner I had was a very nice girl, and we did one competition, and she loses her panties, okay? And she steps out of her panties, gives them to me and say, put them in your pocket. I'm 10 years old, and I'm going, ew, no, I don't want to know about this, okay? So that was the end of that partner. And then I had another partner by the name of Kathy Owen, who I finished the juvenile with. So I started the competition in March, and then I danced junior Blackpool, no recall, nothing. Then I danced international championships in October, and I win as a juvenile. So it was very good. Then I turned junior. In the junior time with Kathy Owen, we danced like every other junior, and then we win the British, the international, UK, whatever. And then we turn amateur or youth, as it were. But I didn't dance the youth competition. I wanted to dance the amateur competition. So
really?
Because I don't know, maybe I wanted to go with the big boys. I didn't want to go with the young lads. I wanted to go with the big boys and have a go.
You were looking the future.
Yeah, so about 18, at 18, I danced the British Open Championships and came 8th. And then my partner broke some bones in her foot. So then I stopped dancing for 6 months. From there, I tried to dance again, but it's like a horse. Horse broke a leg. It's no good anymore for racing. So my poor partner.
We had to change the horse.
I had to change the horse again, right? Okay. So then I danced with a young lady by the name of Kathy Gilmartin, who lived in Blackpool, and her parents had a hotel in Blackpool. So we danced for a while, reasonable results. It was okay, but it was really getting worse. So we decided this is no good. If we want to do something, we must go to London and live in London and dance in London. And that's what we did. So we went to London, and then the amateur career got better. And then we ended up winning the Worlds and the British as an amateur champion. So that's
when did you meet Marion?
Well, when I moved to London as an amateur, it it was at a similar time that Marion herself came with a guy by the name of Greg Smith. And her name then was Aline, Marion Aline. And they were the Australian champions. And we just had a little bit of a romance when about a year after I moved to London or something like this. We kept a romance going for a while. It was a little bit difficult when you're dancing with somebody there all the time and then you have a romance with somebody else. It is like very difficult. So the moment that the amateur career finished, I then said, right, that's the end of that partnership. And Mary and myself, we said, well, we would like to get married. So we lived together for 6 months, something like this. And we not even danced with each other, didn't even take hold with each other because we just wanted to be with each other. And one day I came home from work and I said to Marion, shall we go and see if we can dance together in the studio? She looked at me, oh my God, she says, yeah, let's just try. So we went at that time to a studio called Assembly Studio. It's used to be quite well known, the Latin people and everything. So we went for a tryout, not tryout, but just to try for ourselves.
To try it together, yeah.
Yeah, and just do it. And the funny thing is, Marion danced with Greg, who is a lot taller than me, and I danced with Marion, who is a lot taller than my other partner. So it's funny when you come in with the arms. I'm down here with the arms, Marion's up here with the arms, and you go, hang on a moment. Can we come down? Can we find the average position? And then we tried to move, and it was disastrous. It was terrible. Absolutely.
The feeling in the beginning wasn't so good in the film, in the bodies.
Bodies went in two different directions. So we had a boy by the name of Mark Parkin, who was teaching Latin at that time. Yeah. And he was just having a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, as we started to practice. And the moment it sort of flew all over the place, he was dying with laughter and spilling his coffee and tea everywhere. So that's how bad it was. It was terrible. But
then together you achieved many good results because you were finalists in all the major competition.
See. We eventually, I think we got to about third place in the British, but basically all the major competitions. Then we did Latin. I mean, I used to do Latin as a junior, a little bit as an amateur, but it was a joke, really. You know, it was like, do I have to do this Latin?
So you did the Latin together with Marion?
Yes, she made me do it. Well, she didn't make me do it. You know, a lady by the name of Nina Hunt?
Yeah, she was teaching you also in Assembly too, right?
No, she didn't. She teaches in Balham at the time. And
right, you're right, yes.
And she said to me, you know, you should come and do the Latin. I said, I don't want to do the Latin. She said, no, you should do the Latin. I said, no. So anyway, when we were doing demonstrations, we had a reasonable amount of business doing demonstrations, but not really many. And I'm listening to all my friends and they're saying, yeah, we got this show here and we have that show there. And I'm thinking, how come they do that? Anyway, someone said to me, most of the shows in England that time, they didn't want to have 10 dance shows and they didn't want to just have Latin and they didn't want to just have ballroom because that was boring. So they wanted a mixture. So I then gave Nina a ring and said, look, Nina, I need to get more work with the demonstration. So will you look after my Latin and do my Latin for me? She said, okay, you get down the studio. So she came down the studio. She did my Latin. We did shows. So now the demonstration, the business is much better. We can make a little bit of money to sort of go and do our ballroom. And then I'm sort of getting, I'm quite enjoying this little bit of Latin. So I said to Nina, I said, it was about 3 months before the British National Championships. And I said to Nina, I want to dance the British National Championships. Can you get me ready in time for this competition? And she went, big heart attack like this.
In 3 months, right?
Yeah, 3 months. And she said, okay. So we did it. And we were lucky. We made the final of the British National Championships. I mean, we were 6th, but at the bottom. But we were in the final. So I thought, that's cool. So then we started doing... No, that's what I mean. We did some 10 dance competitions. We danced the European Professional Championship and came second. And the winner was David Sycamore and Denise Weavers at that time, who were way above everybody else in the 10 dance. You know, they're fantastic.
10 dance, they were really the champion, right? Yes.
Yeah. But coming second to them, I thought, result, great, fantastic. Then we danced the World Championship 10 dance, and I think we came fourth in that one. You know, and that was that. Then we thought, listen, got to get serious about the ballroom. Forget about the Latin now.
And then you left the Latin. Yeah, this is in general what is happening to the couples. But what you will suggest so for you it's good that the young dancers, example, next Saturday in the competition, you will see many young dancers from Malaysia, Philippines, UK, from France, from many. We had 25 countries in the last competitions. So wow. And you will see that how they will be very. They try to be, even that they dance from home. You can see many kitchen, you will see many living rooms, garage, but they will really try to do their best. But you will suggest, like, to this young competitor that they start now, that for you it's good to do 10 dance or to focus immediately to one direction?
Well, yeah, this is something I don't agree with the young people at the moment. They are trying to specialize at the age of 18 and sometimes earlier, sometimes 15 or 16. And I say, why? Because, you know, you still have a lot more to learn. You're not going to be the world champion now. If you're going to be a world champion, it's going to be another 5 years, 10 years, whatever it from that time. So why stop your earning capacity, meaning shows, even if you don't want to do ballroom, but do the ballroom anyway, because it's something to go with your show. And you never know. Can I take an example? Marcus Hilton. Okay, he 10 dancers with Karen. But he was basically a Latin dancer, not a ballroom dancer. But he didn't let the ballroom go. And I think he became amateur Latin champion, world champion. Now, after that, he then turned professional and continued his ballroom. And his ballroom started to improve more. And then eventually he went, oh, hang on, the ballroom, I can be world professional champion at rather than the Latin. And he did a complete switch. So for me, you never know the talent of some of these dancers, what eventually they're going to be the best at. And just because you say, oh, well, Latin's a bit more cool. Well, maybe it is. I think ballroom's more cool because there's nothing better than dancing.
Also, ballroom's more cool.
Yeah. You know, I think it's much better to have a lady in your arms rather than just point at them and click your fingers and wink or something like this. So for me, I think they should never decide until around about 25 if they're going to specialize.
So your suggestion is anyway to do both discipline, and then later you can choose which one you are more, you can be better, that you can do your best.
Sometimes we don't get the choice. It's the choice of the competition. So in some competitions, you then do much better in one category than you do in the other one. And that chooses for you. So, and that's much better then. So what happens if they choose the wrong category? It's cool to do Latin, but I'm not really winning anything at the Latin. So for me,
we have one message.
Yeah.
We have one message, Kenny. Julie Sol, Kenny, I can remember you in that British close Latin final at Blackpool. You got the biggest cheers from.
I think that was the cheer because nobody expected it. I didn't expect it. I mean, you hope. I didn't expect it. And I think it was maybe more so a ballroom guy had come round and tried his best to get into that final. And we did, you know. So it was very happy time in a way because no pressure, just let me go out and do it. And everybody else went, oh, how come he made it? Oh, yeah, right, okay. You know, it's what we call the dark horse.
Yes, so now I'm speaking with the people that listen to us. So you see the experience, like this person that today we are having the interview, Kenny Welsh, is giving the suggestion to all of you to try ballroom and Latin, and then only in the end, after many years, you can understand which is the most better for you, that you can achieve your result, your goals that you want to achieve. So this is very important information from Kenny Welsh. So Kenny, you are also president of BDF, British Dance Federation.
Yes.
So congratulations. It's hard work to be a president of this such a big organization, federation.
See, well, it's okay. It is an honor to be able to head an organization like this, but it has a lot of responsibility as well. And fortunately, the committee that I work with and have done for many years have all been very supportive. They've been easy to work with. So my job, in a way, has not been so bad. It's been quite easy. But like everything else, there are frustrating times, and you sometimes lose your composure.
Because also you organize many events, many competitions, you organize the Congress. Also in this period of the lockdown, you organize this Congress during the Blackpool week. It is always something right, and your team is very also helping you to work very hard.
Yeah, that's right. I get supported by it. The ideas come. Some people give me other ideas. Yeah, that's good. We'll go with that. We'll do this. So the team that I work with all say, okay, we have a saying, we roll the sleeves up, let's get going and do this. You know? So in a way, it's a great experience. And I can only say that I've enjoyed most of my time in that position.
That's and really good. And do you think the English competition will come out? When will be the first? You mean that you think Blackpool in August it will be? Or because many people are having this question mark, they want to dance, but that's why we are organizing One World Online Dance Competition to have anyway something in. We don't see that it's the same, but at least they can compete. And they have a great panel of the adjudicators like you are also next Saturday. So do you think Blackpool this year will be, or still is a question mark, right?
It's a big question mark. I think even Blackpool don't know. They are taking entries and everything with the keeping that maybe it's possible, but we can't do anything without the government guidelines saying, yes, you can do this. And at this moment, we have had no indication from the government as to when that can happen. But everything is in place. So everybody just prays and says, okay, maybe I'm lucky, maybe I'm not. Our UK closed championships has been postponed this year, but we don't know when that's going to happen again. That's normally in July. So the question is, who knows? Only the government, and I'm not sure our government know yet.
Yeah, because I was reading a news that maybe in the end of June you will have more clear information, right? In the end of June they will give you more.
Yeah, the beginning first. It's supposed to be the 1st of July, I think. 4th of July, the government will officially give us some more information. But we're praying that we are going to be part of that situation. But what the rules will be, how we do it. I know you informed me now that Italy has now come out of lockdown, so people are teaching in the studios. At this moment, our studio.
But there is not a possibility to dance together.
Right. Understand.
Maybe people are doing, but it's not the right. So people, you can go in the studio, and not many people in the studio, and not dancing as a couple. You have to dance single. So it looks still that they are still keeping far at this with the mask. Yes. But you know, to dance as a single is also good. Do you think it's important to dance also alone, Kenny? Like a good teacher that you are teaching to the best couple all around the world. So I think all of us, including me, all the dancers are having lessons with you, with your fast and clear knowledge that your experience. And do you think it's good to dance and practice also alone, like a single without a partner?
Well, let's put it this way: it is not. There's nothing wrong with doing it. Of course, what it does, it means you focus on yourself rather than focusing a little bit on your partner. I don't know about all the competitors out there who do dance with their partners, but I know myself when I used to practice. I would be thinking I'm doing the right thing, and my partner would say to me, "No, you're not," and I would have a discussion about this. Okay, so very often your thought process goes to the person that is receiving your information, and I think it's got to be a good thing if you can dance on your own and produce what you want. You have your own balance, you have your own concentration, you have your own coordination. When you can master all of that, then maybe you can think about what your partner is doing.
I totally agree with you, Kenny. I totally agree with you. Yes, because example, Saturday you will see also many single dancers, because they are still, many of them, they are in the lockdown, so they cannot still practice together. So all of them, maybe as a couple, they compete separately, like a single, but because they are one in one house and one in the other house, they are not living together. So you will see how many also single, they try to be all in the better fit that they can.
I have a little bit of experience of the solo competitor when you go to China. And you have maybe 3 or 4 dance floors at the same time, with lots of little young ladies all looking at you so that you mark them, and you can't see the number. So you sort of walk around the back of them, they turn around and smile at you again. You go, "No, I need to see the number." So yes, you do have to make sort of quick decisions on that sort of situation. Yeah.
So, Kenny, we are going almost to finish our interview. We don't want to let you lose time for your office, that you have to do many papers. And if we want to finish this interview with one message to the dancers now, for this generation, what a person with your experience like you would like to see more in the dancers now? What they missed, or what they have to look more, focusing more?
Right. Okay. For myself, if I could go back to my own sort of career, the only thing that I wish I could have done more clearly was understand earlier what I was supposed to do. So I think for the dancers now, what they can all be talented. Some people are rhythmically better than others. Some are more practically better than others. Some just have a better looking shape than others. But none of these things singularly are good enough to be the champion or to have high results. And I feel you should go back and reflect on what you think you're good at, that you can then add to it, which means you have to go back and think about possibly technique, maybe a little bit more into the music, and physically, what do you look like? What do the shapes look like? And I find at the moment the kids basically go on what they look like. So we get very exaggerated sort of looking pictures, but the pictures look good. But when you see the movement, it's not so naturally good. Okay, so my message to them is, please do what you want, keep the enthusiasm going, but just go back and think about, well, what are the mechanics there? Not necessarily technique. What are the mechanics? And what is the music trying to tell me there? Do I just, physically go whack, or can I listen to that music and interpret what it says? To just keep reflecting back on why it's all there in the first place. I know they'll say an older guy is now saying, yeah, we've heard all of this before, but it really is true. If at the end of the day you do what you want to do, fine, but put some information and knowledge into what you do. Yeah. That's what
I think this message is fantastic, Kenny. I think really we need that the people also focusing about the feeling and the partnership, like you said, the mechanic, not just the technique, be perfect, because we lose all the warm atmosphere, and also the body is really not dancing anymore. It's just too precise and cold, no?
Exact. And this for me doesn't give me a warm heart. It's when you listen to a singer sometimes. Somebody can sing really well, but you don't get any emotion out of it. And then you get someone whose voice isn't great, but you know what? It just does something to you. And I get the same feeling with dancing. But it's not an accident that you do that. It's knowledge and practicing the different pieces that we need to practice. So that would be my message to it.
The practice, you are right. The practice is really in the beginning of if you want to achieve something, if you don't practice, but practice in the right way, like you said now. Yeah. So, Kenny, so see you on Saturday on the floor.
On
the floor with your 3 devices.
With my 3 devices and my hair combed properly, not in a relaxed position like this.
I want to say to everybody that the entries are open until tonight at midnight. So until midnight, you can still enter in the competition. We have already many entries, but we try to make even bigger. If you want, you can have this possibility to compete in live and having a great panel of the adjudicators, and one of these adjudicators is here with us today, Mr. Kenny Welsh. So thank you very much, Mr. Kenny, to accept our invitation to be on the floor on Saturday to One World of Light Dance competition. Say hello to Marion from us, from our team. Maybe next time we will have Marion with us.
See, cool. Yes, lots more stories.
Okay, so thank you very much, Kenny. Take care, and I'm looking forward to hug you personally. And at the moment, it's just a virtual hug. Okay. A virtual. Thank you so much. Say hello